You are live.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. Let's see.
Hey, Brittany.
Let's take a look.
There we go.
Are we live?
We should be. I'm pulling it up on my my actual computer right here too. Yep, it shows that we're live. So
Awesome. Sweet.
there we go.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it does look different.
Yeah, you gotta if you're playing the stream from your computer, you gotta mute it.
I just did.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, I've no. So it doesn't tell me in here. I think we're still at 0. Oh.
It says 4 from what I see.
Oh, okay. Ours says 0. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I see. Now it's 3. So it might have been one of our streams that was playing, but it's 3 right now.
Awesome. Well, we'll give everyone a minute since we
Oh shoot.
we're like 35 seconds early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no problem here.
How are you doing today, Drew?
I'm doing really good.
Hey, it's the Tower of Terror shirt.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I gotta flex my prized possession.
Yeah. Are you keeping it?
This one I'm keeping, yeah, because I actually where is it? It's probably not hanging up. I bought the same one for my wife. I found a matching one, so we're keeping them to wear to Disney.
Nice.
That is awesome. That's a cool shirt.
Hey, Ken, what's up? How are you, man? Yeah, welcome to the early birds. We're just getting warmed up. Hopefully more than 3 people join us. I'm sure they will trickle in a bit. I think
Yeah, they will.
averaging we've averaged like a small crowd in like the 20s. So like my mom, my dad, my uncle, grandpa, grandma. Just kidding.
No.
Our daughter, our dog.
Yeah, we set Jessica up there with the iPad. She's just liking it the whole time.
Nice. My family doesn't really care much for what I do except my mom. She's a reseller.
Nice.
She's a reseller now too. So
nice. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our my sister interested in it a few months ago, and she's like, well, she like the ups and downs of when you're first getting started, especially.
I'm posting this on my Instagram story.
Oh, okay.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, what happened to Drew? Yeah, so she's been doing it now for 5 months or so. I'm pretty sure she's crossed over at least 7,000 in sales, if not more.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, also part-time.
Yeah, also part-time. And what's really nice is that she works 4 days a week, 12-hour or so shifts. So she has Friday, Saturday, Sundays off, which are like prime garage sale days anyway. So yeah, let's get started. So we'll I guess we'll just do a quick introduction for those who are joining that don't know us. My name is Edine. This is my wife Melinda. We're known as Hustlin Hooks. And I was thinking about this probably a few months ago. It's like, why does everyone have like this like also known as? But then it makes sense because it's remembering Edin Hook Kurbegovic is kind of tough. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I didn't even put that part of your name with the hooks in your name.
You can't.
Yeah.
It's way too much.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that we have a second last name.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, we've been part-time seller for just over a year now. We actually started roughly when our daughter was born last August. So we just crossed our first year. We do it part-time. Someone on Instagram said, well, how do you guys do this? And Melinda's answer was perfect. We just we eat crap, we sacrifice.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it. You can do it. You just have to dedicate your time to it. So I'll let you introduce yourself, I guess.
Yep. So I'm Mel. I think you've already introduced me, but I work part-time. So I actually do go into an office 2 or 3 days of the week, alternating. And then I'm home with our daughter who is waking up right now. So I'm going to go check on her.
You got her?
Yeah, I got her.
Okay. All right. Melinda will be right back.
I'm having lighting issues. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it work better.
Oh, you're fine. Player 1, player 2, what's up? Who are you? Show yourself.
Here for Iggy and Eminem.
Hey, what's up, Jeff? How are you, man? Yeah. Eminem just texted me. He's actually taking Iggy out on a date.
Dude, I cannot get my lighting to work tonight. What is going on? Might just turn it off. That might be better.
Yeah, Drew, will you introduce yourself for those who don't know you, which is probably a very scarce amount of people?
Well, to everybody who doesn't know me, my name is Drew, also known as Profit Monsters on YouTube or Drew_Thrifts and Flips on Instagram. I'm a full-time reseller, so this is my main source of income. I also have my real estate license, but I'm not like full-time, I guess you could say. Like, I'm not active all the time. I do it like friends and family and like when I can get clients here and there. So eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, like online selling, flipping stuff is my full-time income.
Nice. And how long has it been now full-time for you?
So I started like right at the end of March of 2019. So it's been about a year and a half, maybe a little bit longer. April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months. Yeah, so a year and 6 months.
Nice. And so far, so good?
Yeah, so far, so good. I don't like working for other people, so definitely works for me and my personality. I just enjoy, working for myself, and I'm motivated by, if I don't make money, then I don't provide for my family. So like, when I lost my job and I went full time on eBay, starting off, I was like, okay, let's go, baby. Like, I got nothing to lose here, and if it doesn't work, I'll go get another job in the corporate world. But took a chance and just went in 110%, made no excuses. Early mornings, late nights, looking up everything in a thrift store, watching tons of YouTube videos, just filling myself with knowledge, and here I am. So
yeah, that's the great thing about it. Hey Joey, what's up, buddy?
Someone asked about my shirt. It's player one. No, not player one. Merrick. I'm sorry, I always pronounce your name wrong. It's a Disney Power Tear shirt.
Awesome. Hey, player one, Level Up Thrift. What's up, buddy? I appreciate your kind words earlier today. Yeah, it's the Mona will be right back. Our daughter just woke up. She most likely wet her diaper. So I love what you said about filling your head, because that's the thing about resell. It's like you're continuously taking a course, like all day, all night. If you're really passionate about it, you're always learning, and you just keep adding to this endless encyclopedia. And then the next thing you know is you touch something and and that's the beauty of it. And for all of those that are just getting started or are thinking about getting started, it's super overwhelming, because you can sell brand new magnets that you buy in pallet loads from a manufacturer, for example, in Pakistan, or you can sell used shoes, right? And then and then in between all that is your electronics, your pots and pans, your video games, your clothing items, your household items, blenders, vacuums, parts, and the list is like so crazy. But
I made a video of the vacuum that I packed up today. I'll put it out probably tomorrow or Saturday. That was fun.
Yeah, of course. So Drew recently found not a brand new, an old vacuum on the side of the curb, and you can tell if they didn't see it on your Instagram.
Yeah, so I was just going out to dinner with my family a couple of weeks ago, and I was driving by through my neighborhood, and I saw out of the corner of my eye. I'm always looking for stuff. Like, I literally found a pair of shoes in a parking lot a couple months ago and picked them up and sold them on eBay for like $79. So I'm always looking for stuff. But out of the corner of my eye, I saw the canister vacuum with the big, tall, whatever it's called, the metal attachment that goes to the actual vacuum that sucks. And I didn't really think anything of it, like, by stopping, because I had my family in the car. But I said, if this is still here on my way home after I drop off the kids and the family, I'm going back to this house. When we got home, sure enough, I go up to it, and it's a freaking rainbow vacuum, and I had all the attachments and everything. And then right next to it was a Filter Queen vacuum and 2 canister vacuums with all the pieces and everything. And I just was like freaking out. It's like 10 o'clock at night. It's pitch black. I'm using my flashlight on my phone, and I'm loading this into my car with 2 car seats. I'm like jamming it in the car, and I get home and I was so hyped up. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
At the time I found it, I think it was not much within probably 3 weeks to a month of you posting about rainbow vacuums as a bolo. And I had like known about vacuums because I've sold Dyson ball vacuums. Like that's
Yeah.
one thing I always look for is the Dyson ball vacuums. I found one recently for, I think I paid $12 for it at Goodwill, and I flipped it for like 125 on Facebook Marketplace. So like I love flipping big things like that. But I wasn't really familiar with the brand, and then I saw you say, it's like a $500 vacuum or whatever. And when I saw you say that, and then I walked up to it and I saw a rainbow, I was like, for that month, it was like on my bucket list to find one, and just like the pots and pans and the bread makers and stuff like that I had learned from you. And man, when I found that, it was just such a good feeling. And then when it worked, when I plugged it in and it worked, and then I listed the Filter Queen for $169.99 plus shipping, and I listed the rainbow vacuum for I think like $450 plus shipping, and I just threw it up high numbers because it's really hard to find comps for like full assemblies because some are free shipping, some are parts, some are missing things. So I just listed it, and yesterday it sold for full price. I just got the cha-ching on my eBay, and it sold for full price, and I was so excited to ship it. Like people would be scared of that kind of stuff. I was so pumped to ship it. It wasn't even funny.
Well, it's exciting to ship because it gets it out of your inventory because it's so bulky.
Well, that too.
I had so two things. I actually have 2 rainbow vacuums in my car right now. One I picked up, it's an older model for $60 where I'm gonna part it out, and I picked up another one for $100. And someone just asked, how much would you pay for one on Facebook Marketplace complete to ship? So here's the thing with rainbow vacuums. The modern ones within like the last few years, brand new, they go for like $2,000, $2,500 plus dollars. So on Marketplace, you're gonna see listings for like $1,000, $1,500, $900. Those ones are a little bit tricky, obviously, because you have to invest a large chunk of cash to flip that. And most people that are doing reselling part-time don't want to or don't have $1,000 to throw at a brand new category they've never dealt with before. So I would definitely stay away from that unless you have the money for it. But so I paid $60 for an older one that had some attachments, and I paid $100 for another one. The other 2 that we sold, we paid $100 each for them, and one sold for $350. Then it was returned because something happened in shipping where like a ball bearing went bad and it just started grinding. I parted it out, and I've sold parts for about $250. That's a long story. And the other one sold for $400 shipped. Unfortunately, I went to Puerto Rico. It cost $123 to ship it, but we still made, I think it was like $130 or $140 net profit on it. So if you can find those for about, just as $150, it depends on the model. So there's plenty of models. What you want to do is ask the seller, what is the model, and then see how many attachments it comes with. Because the item that Drew just mentioned, the hose extension for the rainbow, I just sold that 2 days ago for 120 shipped, and it went, I think, East Coast for $16 or something like that, shipping it out. So I think $150 is definitely reasonable depending on the model. But do some research, and like Drew said, it's a little bit hard to find exact comps because shipping of those things, like I paid $123 to ship that to an island. But if I had sold that somewhere in the Midwest, it would have cost me less than $40 to ship. So it is kind of hard to find the exact value. But yeah, rainbow definitely a bolo. Like genuine rainbow parts, they sell really fast. Like I have 1 part left, and they've been listed for less than 10 days.
Yeah, well, I've almost considered parting mine out just because like it is taking up space in my inventory, and it probably will sell faster as a part out than as a full vacuum. But there's nothing like getting an eBay notification for a $450 sale. So
yeah, I get it.
But as far as the, in my opinion, the 150, like first of all, like Adine said, it definitely depends on the model. But the second thing is it depends on where you're at in your business and where your profit margins are. Like if you're okay spending 150 to make 300, then I think that is a great flip. Like it depends on really where you're at with your business, because like me, I'm really, really cheap when it comes to my business. Like I'm not typically one, well, pre-COVID, I was not one to go buy a Nintendo Wii on Facebook Marketplace for 50 to flip it for 100. to me, it wasn't worth the time to spend $50 and sell it for 100 and then pay shipping and fees and, make $25 net profit. But because I used to go to the bins a lot, but then when COVID came around and then I couldn't go to the bins and go to regular thrift stores and stuff, Facebook Marketplace became like my source of income. I was buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace every day and flipping it. And so it kind of opened my eyes to it's okay to pay up for stuff as long as it sells quickly. So like, for example, the Guitar Hero guitar that I found, basically new in the box, I paid up for it. I paid 40 for it, but I have it listed for 175 plus shipping, which is probably a little high, but I figured let me just list it for a week and see if I get anything. And then if not, I'll lower the price. But I mean, it just depends on where your margins are. Like I have one of the Rock Band sets right now, listed on eBay and Mercari for $199 plus shipping. And somebody offered me on Mercari $150, and I haven't accepted it yet just because $50 less than my list price is a little lower than what I would like. I counter offered at 175 and he countered back at 150 again and said, this is all I can afford. So I'm like, do I want to have another full Rock Band set in my storage unit, for maybe a difference of $25? Or do I want to wait and see if I get a full price sale? Because I have sold Rock Band sets for full price.
Right. Yeah, those are good points. We actually have like 7 drum sets. I'm not 100% sure why I haven't gotten around to listing those. I think it's because we've been working nonstop pretty much daily. There's some of them that are missing the dongle, so I'm just a little bit more hesitant, but there are some that actually have the dongles with them, so I just need to do it. Yeah, those are great flips, but yeah, you're absolutely right. With some of that big stuff, you really want to move it quickly because you don't want it to take up that inventory space. Inventory space, especially if you're inventorying out of your home like we are, it can get pretty crammed, and that's not fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Melinda is so that's my sister. Hi, Mina. Melinda is going to be back just in a couple of minutes. Jessica most likely wet her diaper, so she's taking care of her. Hey, everyone that's joined. Appreciate everyone that's here so far.
Yeah, there's 20 people in the chat right now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hey, Patrick.
Having a great time, and hopefully everyone's having a great day. Melinda will be right back. I know it's much more pleasant to look at her than it is me, and you get enough of this on Instagram yelling at you and calling you lazy. But hey, if I'm the deterrent to help you get off your butt, then I'm glad to help. What's your?
Let me ask you a question real quick, because I don't know like how people know, like, what motivated you guys when you started reselling, since you were doing it for a year? What motivated you guys to start Instagram and like start sharing that stuff versus versus just kind of grinding it out and just doing your thing? Because you guys are really, really successful at being online sellers, especially since both of you have jobs and have a kid. So like for me, I just turned my personal Instagram page that I always had since I was 18. It was just Drew Friedman 13 or whatever. And I just decided that before I started Profit Monsters, I kind of started sharing my YouTube or my finds and stuff on my personal page. And I realized that I already had somewhat of a following. So I was like, and I created the Profit Monsters Instagram, but people weren't going over to it. And I was like, this is too much work to try to run 2 Instagrams and a YouTube channel. So I'm just going to stick with Drew Thrifts and Flips and link the bio to my YouTube channel. And then that's what happened with me. So.
Yeah, that's a good question. So the easiest, quickest answer is helping others. There's no better feeling. Money is this crazy idea, and depending on who you watch and follow and what influences you in your personal life, you think it's the end of the rainbow, and that's all you need to do is just get money. Getting money is not that interesting. Like, earning money and creating your own revenue for me is very motivating, but the best feeling that I have is when someone sends me a message or sends us a message and says like, hey, because of you, I achieved this. Because of you sharing this, then I made this sale. Like that, to me, like getting that shout out, like I don't care if I sell anything on eBay for the day, as long as I'm able to help somebody out. And for me personally, I'm sure Melinda has a very similar answer, but for me, when I'm on my deathbed, which at one day I'm not going to be on this earth, I would rather think back of how many lives I helped change than how many dollar bills are in my account, because that means nothing to me. It's such a, like, once you get to a certain point of an income where you can afford the lifestyle that you want to live, then money just becomes it becomes a tool for you to invest in your future and to take care of your loved ones, and that's it. Like I honestly, like, if I personally get to some sort of level where like I have a helicopter, that's great. But I'm not chasing a helicopter, and I'm not chasing a mansion. I'm not chasing a swimming pool. I don't care about that stuff. I don't necessarily want a Lamborghini. Like, that's not something that I want. If at some point that's something that I'm able to have, then great. So money is not it. But helping people, connecting with someone like you, who, like, I would not have my relationship with you if it wasn't for our conversations off of Instagram. There was, like, we had a special guest show up at our house today. Like, we would have never met that guy if it wasn't for sharing content on Instagram. And so that to me is, like, there's relationships that have come out of this that have replaced relationships that I've had with other people in my local area. And I'm cherishing this much more because there's just like a bond. I don't know. That's the only way I can explain it. There's a mutual bond and respect between people who are like eating shit and grinding it out every single day for like the benefit of their family and their love. That's attractive.
Yeah, for me, it's a really interesting like mental, psychological thing, I guess you could say, to talk about just in general, because I told my wife the same exact thing that you just answered to me. Is the reason I started YouTube and really pushing my stuff on Instagram was because one of my dreams is to be a motivational speaker. And I've always been motivated by wanting to help other people. And I've just been like trying to figure that out for the last 10 years of my life, going, how can I help other people? How can I do this? How can I make a difference? And when I found out about reselling, and when I kind of came into the reselling community, I was just like, I almost feel like this is my home. I don't know how to describe it, but like, I love posting content on Instagram and YouTube because, first of all, there's a book called The 5 Love Languages. It's like a Christian-based book, but most people know it because a lot of people read it, even if they're not religious or whatever. But one of my love languages is words of affirmation. So when someone tells me, like what you said, hey, I bought a Wii today at the thrift store and I sold it because you told me that you can resell Nintendo Wiis, like, that is more of a like endorphin rush or a drug high than actually any drug could ever give me, because there's no greater feeling than knowing you told somebody something for free, they acted on it, and then they made money.
I'm getting goosebumps listening to you. You're 100% right. The question he asked me was, what motivates us to post on social media? Do you want to answer that? I already answered my version of it.
Same. I think helping people. I think people giving information that can better their lives. And when they actually act on it and they let you know, it's a really great feeling.
There's shadows.
That you actually directly affected somebody's financial. It's crazy. It's just crazy that you can do that through social media.
Yeah, it's funny because every once in a while I have to have this conversation with my wife, just to kind of keep me in check about social media, because at the same time you have a lot of people that like love you or give you like shout outs for what you do, and you have the haters too, and it never fails that like someone will come into a post and be like, yo, how much do you want for that shirt that I found at a thrift store? And I'll say, how about $30 shipped, or make me an offer. And they'll say something stupid like, how about $5, or how about $10, or oh, you're asking too much, or something like that. You're just trying to tax off of your followers. And I'm like, listen, first of all, I asked you to make me an offer. Second of all, when I told you a price, you didn't like it, and then you get mad at me. Like, it's just, I really don't like let that stuff get to me. but like YouTube comments and people on Instagram that say like I posted about a week or two ago, those FSU Nike shoes that got returned because they didn't fit. And then the guy started like threatening me through eBay messages, and I shared it on my Instagram story. And I was like, this guy is literally trolling me and harassing me. And then somebody commented, sent me a message on Instagram, and was like, you shouldn't post stuff like that on your story. You're disrespecting the buyer. People are going to think that you are full of yourself because you are getting upset that somebody wants a return. Give the guy his money back and shut up, or something like that. I said, this is the life of a full-time reseller. If I can't share the bad with the good, then I'm creating a pipe dream for people to believe that there's only rainbows and unicorns with reselling. Unicorns in the back.
That's right. We only sell dreams and unicorns.
It's only rainbows and unicorns over here, Drew.
That's right.
I just got this. I was telling you about this. Remember, I called you and asked you about it when I was shipping it? It's all broken. It got damaged in shipping, and they refused it, and it got returned to sender.
Oh, that's exciting. We had one of those recently.
I just got it back, and I had to file a claim with the USPS today. And it's like, I didn't post that on my story today, but that stuff happens all the time. Like you shared one time, like the other day or something, about like 3 to 4% returns is okay, and it's like, it happens. And at the end of the day, there's really nothing you can do. But if I can't share that with my followers without them getting butthurt about it, you know what I mean? That I'm not trying to create this pipe dream that like, look, I live in a 1,000 square foot house and my inventory is stacked up in my office. And then I have a storage unit. I'm not perfect or anything like that. And it's just crazy to me how people, I could talk about this all night, so I'm going to stop myself.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me how people only want the good content, because it hypes them up. But when you share something like, hey, stop being lazy and get to work, or you have to deal with returns and here's how to deal with it, or someone saying, well, I don't sell Nintendo Wiis because buyers do bait and switch on them. Like, well, that's fine, but you're missing out on money, and I'm trying to teach you that doesn't happen very often. And if it does, you resell it. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, it's
I think it's worse when people buy into that pipe dream, like you said, when they're only following the people. They think, I'm going to go to the thrift store, pick something up, and then it's going to sell for a bunch of money. And then they find out that's not the reality, and then they're even more mad. And then up on it, instead of actually following the people who are like, no, these are the real numbers of stability. It can work, but it is work, and this is stuff you have to deal with. So the people who actually want to be successful, I think, are open to hearing that.
And that's a big difference. I'm sure you've gotten it too, and I'm sure other content creators have gotten it. The folks that say they want to, but then they never follow up.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. And I had recently somebody offer us a price on an item, and then it took, like, they weren't responding, and then they said, like, I don't want it anymore. And it's just like, well, respectfully, don't waste my time. And then they had the audacity to say, well, I'm sorry to waste your precious time. And it's like, listen, buddy, your time is as precious as mine. Why are you wasting both our time? Like, move on. Yeah. Like, I don't care about your money. I don't care about any of that. But like, we sent you a price, you countered, we accepted, and then you wasted, like, we took it off of eBay. We have to put it back. We lost views, regardless, it's okay. The pipe dream, this is why people get in trouble with clothing, is because of those. This is my opinion solely, of those posh girls. The posh girl thing, where like they have 20,000 followers and everything is perfect and every filter is perfect and every picture is perfect and everything is great and there's never anything bad. That's why people get in trouble, because then they're like, I can do this too. They load up 30, 40, 70, 100, 300 items. Their stuff isn't moving because they don't understand how it works, because all they see is perfect, the highlight reel of social media. That's the real poison of it. It's the highlight reel. Mm-hmm. So that's why barely any filters in ours. That's why we show you exactly how messy our shit is. Like, it's the reality. Like, dude, we're managing a dog, a child, 2 people, a house. This last 10 days, our microwave went out, our dishwasher broke, our light switch went out, our washing machine leaked, are like, there's a list of things, and like we're within like several projects. It's like, I'm not going to complain to you about that, but that's why you see us up at 2:00 in the morning scrubbing shoes. That's the
Someone's
reality.
gotta pay for it.
Oh yeah.
Who's got to pay for it?
There is no gosh, I'm trying to think of the right word for it, but there's just no excuse. I am one of the biggest proponents on Instagram. And up until the point that I met you guys, there's really not many other resellers that are as open, as genuine, as not basic, but like down to the point, like straight to the point type of people that are like, listen, some days are good days, some days are bad days. Don't make excuses. Like I posted on my Instagram the other day, like a little screen recording on my phone of some like denim that I listed, and I said, didn't feel like listing today, but you know what? I'm getting motivated. I saw someone else post and motivated. It motivated me, and I got like 15 listings done in like less than an hour. You know what I mean? And there are some days where I don't feel like listing, but you know what? I get in my office, I turn my lights on, and I start taking pictures, and I do what I got to do because that's what's necessary to succeed in this business. And that's why so many people, like what you were saying about like the posh girls and stuff, not all of them are like that, but there are a lot. But it's the same thing.
Yeah, not all of them are.
Like there are certain Instagram accounts that try to show this pipe dream lifestyle of you can live in LA, you can drive a BMW 7 Series, you can sell you can have listen. I get fired up.
You can have that life though. It's just they're not showing the tough stuff that goes into it. That's the problem.
Or they're not showing you their credit card bill.
Yes.
Because we can live that same lifestyle, but we just have a credit card. We have great credit, right? But that's not the point,
Yeah, my mom said, Adina was like, well, I just want to like travel, live wherever, wake up wherever, basically retire 2 years ago. My mom was like, well, you could have that lifestyle now. It's really just a matter of like, how much do you want to buy?
Yeah. It's just like, what's your standard of living? Like you can be a bum.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not a bad lifestyle if that's what you want.
Yeah. It's crazy because that's one of the reasons why me personally, I don't share my numbers a lot on Instagram. I do, but I don't share like my 90-day total because for me, it's not just 90 days on eBay. I have Posh sales, I have Depop sales, I have Mercari sales, I have Facebook Marketplace sales. And so for me to take that time, I'm going to put all of that into a collaboration in a video, Right. But for me, like I don't share my 90-day totals because I don't want to mislead people and say, unless I'm going to back it up with information, which is what you guys do, say, hey, we did 30K in sales and we had this much in gross. This is what goes into our pockets. And so for me, like when other pages do that stuff and they just say like, I got 100K in sales. Well, yeah, you got 100K in sales, but you're buying Jordans for $89 from footlocker.com and then you're selling them for $130. So you're making $40, 35. Well, free shipping. So it's costing you $10. So you're 100, 140 after fees. You're making $30 net profit on athletic shoes if you sell them for over 100 on a $90 investment. Now, if you flip that over and over again, then hey, one listing can make you 20K if you keep buying the same thing. But don't say you made 100K when you spent 80K. Like my number, let's just say my eBay number is 20K for an even number, right? Let's say it's 20K for 90-day total. My numbers are at bare minimum 50% net profit. Like that's I'm the cheapest MFer that you'll ever meet. I that's why I like going to the bins. Even though clothing is not my favorite, I like vintage clothing a lot, but even though clothing is not my favorite thing, I would much rather spend $100 on a full cart of vintage clothing and have a ton of stuff to list than buy one rainbow vacuum for $100 that I can sell for $400. I'll still buy the rainbow vacuum, but I'm more of the buy a shirt for $1 at the bins and sell it for 20, 30, 40, 50, because the margins make so much more sense to me that when I share my numbers, I can say I paid $5 for this N64 game and I sold it for 50, or I paid $10 for these shoes and I sold them for 70. Now, not every sale is like that. Some stuff flops and you accept lower offers. Just like, Mel said in one of your guys' videos recently where you took an offer on a pair of shoes on Poshmark for lower than what you normally would have sold them for to get the ball rolling for the day. Like sometimes you just do that, you get your money back and you move on, you make a little bit of profit. But to be out there in front of an audience when you're trying to inspire other people, like I guess you're not really trying to inspire people when all you're doing is flexing $100 bills on your desk and saying like, let's get this bread, because like, hey, I'm all about let's get this bread, but if you're not going to be transparent, that was the word I was looking for. If you're not going to be transparent, then I'm not going to follow you, because I want to see when I learned about bread makers from you guys, like the day I found out about bread makers, when you DM'd me and said something nice about my page or something, and you're like, hey, check out our page when you get a chance, or I don't remember how the conversation started, but it was something like that. You said something nice, and then you were like, hey, check out our page. We just sold a bread maker or something like that. And I was like, these guys aren't selling bread makers. And then when I saw your at the time you had sold like 23 or 24 bread makers, I'm like, all right, babe, I'm going to Goodwill. And I mean, I've sold probably 10 or 12 bread makers since I learned that from you guys. And you just would never know unless you had someone transparent like that, like the West. No, well, I'm not going to say that. Never mind. But certain people, they want you to be part of this like secret club to learn about what's selling. And it's like all these people on eBay and Amazon were selling these wall brand clippers, like for haircuts and stuff during COVID. Nobody wanted to share the secret of the hair clippers, but everybody was sharing these huge picture stacks, of all these sales going out that was the same item. And after doing some research myself, I found like a leaked photo from someone's Instagram that, someone wasn't really trying to share it, but I saw it in the background. And I was like, okay, hair clippers. And people are buying them from Walmart, from Costco, paying $43 for a pair of clippers and then selling them on eBay and Amazon for 80 to 90, and then free shipping, minus fees, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you could have made $20,000 during COVID selling hair clippers, but you really only made $5K.
Right. And that's the, I think I gave someone this advice earlier today, like before you make a post, like think about what you're posting. Like, why am I going to post this? And if your reason is primarily to flex, like to say, I have it, you don't, that's perfectly fine. But then expect not the greatest audience of people to follow you, right? Because there's this, it's just that highlight reel. Like I can talk about this for a long time too, but for me, it's like, I've seen so much, and I'll give you one example. Random, small, tiny page. I clicked on it to see what is this? That's a great answer, by the way. I can't pronounce it, but you're 100% right.
Soji Rushi.
Yeah. So I go on their page. They made a post that they sold an item. They blurred out the picture of the item. They blurred out the description. They blurred everything out besides the price, and just like put that up. And I'm just like, okay. And it was like $150 sale or something. And it's just like, dude, you can go deliver pizzas for 2 shifts and make that. Like, what are you trying to like? There are millionaires and billionaires out there like churning trillions and billions of dollars constantly. Like, you're telling me that you made $150 sale?
Yeah.
Who is that?
I almost feel like you almost have to have a mix on your like if you want to watch like, hey, I made so much money, that's fine. But it can be, if that's the only thing you're watching, it's demotivating after a point, because they're just saying, well,
it almost seems unrealistic.
But they're not saying, well, this is how I got it. This went into it. So how are you motivated at all? Because you're just going to make stacks of cash appear.
Right.
And you're like, well, I can't do it.
Yeah. Here's the thing for me. And let me clarify this, because I don't want to come off as a D-bag. The people that have these big pages, or the people that have these groups and stuff where they share secret items that are selling, more power to them. Like, hey, you're running a business. You are providing products and goods for people to go find that are paying for you to give them those leads. They're lead generation groups. and people are willing to pay for that service for somebody else to tell them, hey, you go to Walmart and buy these hair clippers and you can flip them for money. Some people are willing to do that and to pay that. And it's no disrespect to those people. And I'm sure them in person are really nice. The problem is the pipe dream aspect on Instagram is just what and on YouTube for some people is what gets me. Like, that's why I actually enjoy Rally Roots, is because even though they're at 150K in subscribers and they've got 50K on Instagram, you can message Ryan and he will actually respond to you. You can ask him questions, and most of the time Ryan will answer it. He's very humble on his videos. He's not out here throwing stacks saying, we just bought this big ranch for $2.2 million. He's just sharing how their business is growing and taking it along the way. And, you know, he drives a Tesla, but I mean, for gosh sakes, the man deserves it. He's been on YouTube for 5 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if that's the lifestyle he wants to live, he's not flexing in it. He's not saying like, oh, I have this car and you don't, you know, but at the end of the day, with all that being said, no hate for any of those people. I definitely want to clarify that. I have nothing but love for people who are encouraging, teaching, and inspiring other people in different ways. It's just that style is not for me. But I'm also a self-motivator. Like, I don't need a lead generation group leader to be in a Zoom call with me for 2 hours a day, every day, to say, hey, you need to get your 20 listings done. I'm just going to get my 20 listings done because I have to put food on the table. You know, if I don't get my 20 listings done, I probably won't sell as much for the day. You know what I mean? Right. And that's just the way that it is. And so, you know, the biggest takeaway for me with all of that is I really want that's why, like, I'm not really motivated by blowing up or going viral on YouTube. Like, I would love to have the subscribers to teach people, but I've been going a year and a half and I've got 5,000 subscribers. And I know people that have been going for 6 months and have 20,000 subscribers, you know, in the reselling community. And it means nothing to me. You know, realistically, like, hey, it would be nice to have 20K subs. But, you know, when a big YouTuber shouts you out and says, go watch this person's video, you don't know if that other channel paid for it, if they, you know, whatever. Yeah, like, I drove to Harry Tornado's house with Joey Bada Bing. Yeah, Joey, you have a job, dude. You have a full-time job, and you can afford that. You can afford that car. So,
what is Joey drive? What's up, Joey? Joey, let's take a pause and address some of the chat questions and say hello to some folks.
Yeah, I definitely go off on these topics. So.
This is why we invited you. So it's just like constant, like there'll never be a stalemate. Drew's just gonna go for it. I'm totally kidding. What bread maker? You already answered that. Drew, when are you gonna have your vintage private group? We're actually already in that group. You're just not invited.
Yeah, sorry, invite only.
Yeah, that's invite only. That's very closed. What's a tea bag? I'm not sure, but I have been recently using Vagisil to clean items. I got trolled. I don't know if you heard that one or not. So yeah, Vagisil great for cleaning appliances. Just so you know, heads up to everyone. Hi, Mom. I love you. Nice for you to stop by. Put in the work. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, there is a part of me that's like, okay, what if like we find this thing that's selling really well, like bread makers? At what point, like, why don't we just keep it to ourselves? Because there's enough for everyone that wants to put in the work. It's out there. I want you to go and find it. Like if we sell 5 less and 5 other people make $50 and that actually helps them, that's much better feeling for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that greed factor doesn't get me. Like, there's a YouTuber who just put out a video. Most people will probably know from talking about the clippers. He just put out a video talking about these wall haircut products, and that's why I'm talking about it now. I already knew about it, but I just wasn't willing to drop $5 grand on hair clippers to make $4 grand. Like,
right.
That's
a different game. Yeah,
I don't have the warehouse space. I'm not an Amazon seller, so I don't do fulfill by merchant Amazon. So it's a different game with eBay, blah, blah, blah. But anywho, he basically said in the video, I'm making this video now because the product is already flooded. But right. I sold, you know, 222 units of this in a week on Amazon or whatever. And I'm like, listen, more power to you. But when you hide stuff from the people that you're trying to get to follow you, that to me is like what you just said. It's almost like just almost greed. Like, you're gonna make more. Bearded Picker. I don't know if you're familiar with him on YouTube. He's a really nice guy. He does retail arbitrage a lot. He had
I've heard of him. Yeah, I've not. You mentioned that. Yeah, I've not seen any of his content, but I know who you're talking about.
Okay, so super nice guy. He had a video go viral last year about retail arbitrage, this millennial Monopoly game that came out. And it was only in Walmarts, and it was a very limited supply that came out. He went to like 17 different Walmarts in 6 different states and loaded up his van with every millennial Walmart or Monopoly game. He paid $19 a game and was selling them on Amazon before he even checked out of the store, because he was scanning the barcode and putting them into Amazon. He was selling them for $65 or something like that. As he was literally sleeping in his car. He's a super cool guy. But my point is with that is he had like a viral video and it was like 2.6 million views, but he was posting the video as it was happening. He wasn't like, oh, I got all these McDonald's or Monopoly games and you guys can't find out about them until I make all my money. And
Right.
But it was like a really limited edition thing in Walmart. So he kind of knew that it wasn't going to be at every store and it wasn't going to become a flooded market. But when you have that mentality of, okay, sorry, my point is he said in his video, he made more money from the YouTube video revenue than he did selling 1,400 units of Monopoly or however many it was.
Yeah.
His video went viral. So like when you have the mentality of like hoard, like it just makes no sense to me why nobody would say like, hey, go buy Nintendo Wii's on Facebook Marketplace. They're selling for 100 plus. Go buy PlayStation 2 Slims. They're very popular units. You can pick them up for 25 and sell them for 130. Like, why would you not tell people about that? I can't fathom that.
I think it's just the fear of creating competition. But like early on, like 6 months ago, I remember because I was very kind of cocky almost, but basically I don't know if it was like bread machines or something, and someone said like I don't remember, but basically I said I don't care if I'm creating local competition because I'm just gonna outwork you anyways. And that's the reality. It's like you can create this hype about this like unicorn balloon selling really well, and then everyone's gonna go for it. But eventually, like people are just gonna drop out because they're not gonna be consistent. And that's literally like what it takes. I'm gonna pause this quickly to tell you who showed up at our front door today.
Okay.
Do you already know?
My guess would be Dominic, but because
Yeah,
he's the only
Dom
person
showed up.
that I know lives in Michigan near you.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. We talked a little bit about those VCR units and stuff. We didn't make any decisions, but I said, hey, if we do make a deal, we'll throw Drew a bone because you connected us.
Okay, cool.
A super nice kid.
Yeah, he's really
he's an awesome guy. I actually am really inspired by him because he had that big page, Michigan Thrift, and it had like 30,000 followers. And then he made a post about an off-white jacket that was fake, and eBay or Instagram banned his Instagram account. He can't get it back. And what did he do? Instead of whining about it, he created another Instagram account.
And he's we talked to him about that today. I was getting some food, but
he's really down to earth, like very real, super.
And he hustles, man. Like he's always sending me DMs of these video games and N64s and GameCubes that he's picking up on Facebook Marketplace. And he's like, Drew, how many Wii's did you pick up today? I'm like,
yeah, dude. I can't say enough nice things about him. I really wanted him to do a skateboard trick because I really like skateboarding, but he didn't have a chance because he's still recovering from his latest injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only like a couple hours away. He was visiting his girlfriend, which is like 45 minutes from us, and he like went out of the way to like come in and meet us, which is really cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
I'm surprised he didn't DM me and say something unless you told him not to say something. So
no, I didn't. We took some pictures. At some point, he'll post them. I gave him a gift. I gave him that Tommy shirt that I bought from you in your auction.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
And he was really happy with it. He showed me that he has a Tommy Hilfiger tattoo.
Yeah. He's one of the reasons, in my opinion, that Tommy was really hype on Instagram, like Slobby Robbie and all that. But he was like one of the guys like one of the OGs that was like the Tommy collector. Like he's got the Tommy Hilfiger skateboard deck hanging in his room on his wall, and like he was really pushing the Tommy stuff for a while, but then the hype kind of fell off, and now it's like vintage Disney, vintage snack tees, vintage this. But yeah, Dominic is a super cool guy, and he's just a hard worker. Like you don't see,
you don't see a lot of 24, 23-year-olds with that kind of mindset. I'll tell you that. I know. I mean, I was hustling my profession at the time, so I could relate to him a little bit. But like to see what he's doing, like it's really cool. Yeah. A couple things in the chat. Alaska says she shares all of her clothing and what sells fast. Yeah, you're gonna make your money, right? Regardless, and then if somebody else can from you, like that's why like one of our favorite pages is Hustle at Home Mom. Like Ashley does a lot of really great stuff with clothing, and like we've learned stuff from her.
Yeah, for sure.
And we continue to learn. And there was what was that? Eskandar.
Yeah, that's hard to find though too. So
yeah. Well, Alaska is Anfisa from Far North Thrift. That's her page on Instagram.
Oh yeah. We just I think we recently connected.
Yeah, she is actually like a clothing genius. She lives on a property in Alaska. She lives in like a fifth wheel, but their property is massive, and they have an awesome life. They've got like chickens and cats and like all sorts of stuff. And she goes to a thrift store and like she'll just be like, oh yeah, that's a Vince. Oh yeah, that's a Eileen Fisher. Oh, today this sold for $80. This sold for $100. This sold for $200. I'm like, what the heck, man? So she sells only clothing. She kills it.
Chicago Stuff, what's up? Welcome. Glad you're here with us. Everlasting Hobstopper. How old are we? Yeah, I'm 32, 33. 32 or 33. Mars, 34. Drew, I assume you're 28.
I'm 30.
30? Jesus, you're old. Yeah, that's when Don showed up. Like he's like big hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm thinking like 30s, and I'm like, how old are you? He's like 23. I was like,
yeah. Well, Joey bought a Bing over here is like 16 years old.
70 says Ken is 70. Jesus, Ken. I'm surprised 70-year-olds know how to attend a live. That's pretty sweet. Joey says 17. Nice. Joey, so that's the funny thing.
A full-time job at 17.
When you guys did that trip to Harry Tornadoes, and I made a comment like, "Oh, how cute! It's Joey's like first time drinking a Monster. It's Joey's first time like going to the thrift. Like he's growing up he's blonde.
He's not really 17, but he's still young. So, but yeah, and Fisa is I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. But Far North Thrift, she's 24, but her and her husband, man, that's just they have like when I watch her page and I see her like walking on her property, and there's like she posted on her story the other day, she was like at a creek or in her on her property, and there was like a trout or a salmon or I don't know, some fish, and it was like this big just swimming right there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the coolest thing ever to have that kind of stuff just wild on your property. And she's over here, like her husband has a full-time job, and then she's over here. She's got like 3 kids, I think. And she is a full-time reseller, and she's always sharing her stuff. She's always thrifting, finding good stuff. And look, I'm so motivated when I see other people like that are in the community, that are positive people. That's why I really connected with Joey, because he's just so positive and like happy-go-lucky, and like just meeting people like that and connecting with people like that is so like uplifting, because there's so many toxic resellers out there. And like you said, and what I was actually the first person to interview Rinzi on YouTube, and then everybody started interviewing them. But one of the things I love about them is they're always saying there's plenty of food for everybody to eat.
There is.
Like if you said like, oh well, if you tell everybody about Vapor Max shoes at Ross, you'll never find them. There's within my hour of driving at any one given direction, I could probably go to 8 different Rosses or 10 different Rosses. So for you to tell me to not tell other people that you can buy Vapor Max from Ross, it's just, crazies. There's always enough for everybody to eat, and there's never going to be a lack of buyers for a popular product. Now, if you're trying to sell empty Mountain Dew cans and you're like, everybody starts selling empty Mountain Dew cans, there may be a couple of collectors out there that are looking for limited edition vintage cans or whatever. But when you tell people that there's Revereware or Farberware pots and pans, there's billions of them everywhere. And there's so many of them selling every day on eBay. For someone to try to say, well, I'm not going to tell anybody because I'm going to go to Goodwill and find 3 of them. Well, there's still hundreds of them else out there. Like, so I can't stand it.
Yeah, we've started sharing pots and pans. So many people have sold pots and pans for top value, and they haven't stopped selling. They're still selling quick for people.
Yeah.
So this goes to show, just because we tell you, hey, this is a market that you haven't thought of yet, that market suddenly doesn't just like drop out. It's still there.
We actually had somebody ask, and I mean no disrespect to the question, but we had somebody ask on Instagram, like, are pots and pans still selling? There's just like, dude, pots and pans are going to sell until everyone's dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's no, like, certain brands do really well, just like any category. Certain brands do much better than other brands. You just have to figure out and decipher those brands.
Yeah, and we were selling them before quarantine. Those still.
Oh yeah, pots and pans are like lifelong. Like, put it on a list and you're going to sell it. Like, we've sold a solid 95% of all Revereware that we've ever listed. Like, it just sells well. People want it. Pots and motherfucking pans forever, for life. I got it. The tattoo is just healing on my back. Can I ask you one question, Drew?
Yeah.
If somebody came to you and said, like, where do I start, and like how do I get going, and what should I start with? What would your answer be?
Well, if somebody asked me that, I have people ask me that every day.
What's your answer?
Crazy. My answer is the same thing. I actually have it saved as a note in my phone, and I copy paste it because it's literally the same answer. Here's what I tell people. I say the first thing you do is you start off finding stuff in your own house that you personally spent your own money on that you don't use anymore. Go through your closet, look at your shoes that you don't wear anymore, old video games you don't play, that are sitting in your closet collecting dust, pots and pans in your kitchen, whatever you spent money on that you don't use anymore. Read it from your phone. I'll pull it up. I tell people, like, whatever you don't use in your house, start by selling that stuff because it's stuff that you obviously valued because you paid for it. So when you sell it, you know how much you paid for it, so you know what you would be comfortable letting it go for. If you bought a pair of Timberlands for $50 at Ross, or you bought a pair of Timberlands at the Timberland store for $180, you're not going to sell them for $10. But you sell them for what you're comfortable at, or you learn how to look up comps. So that's the first thing I'd say, is sell stuff that you have in your house and you learn about them. You learn about those categories, and then you start looking for those categories at thrift stores and garage sales. So if you go to a thrift store and you have a Nintendo Wii that you don't play anymore, and then you're like, oh wow, or you have Nintendo 64, and you're like, oh wow, Paper Mario sells for $100. I didn't know that. Well, no, not every day you're going to find Paper Mario, but you now know that Nintendo 64 games sell for a lot of money. So you start looking for those on Facebook Marketplace because it's easy for you to relate to that. And then you slowly start watching YouTube videos. You start following people on Instagram, and then you start learning about new products. Like, okay, you know about Nintendo 64, so let me learn about GameCube. It's very similar, but it's a little different. And that's how I tell people to start. And then I say, then you learn from other people, and you start with one product specifically. Like, if you wear Nike shoes, learn about Nike shoes, and then start selling Nike shoes, and then learn about Hoka, and then learn about New Balance, and then learn about Adidas. There are certain brands of Adidas and New Balance that sell very well, and there are certain brands that are basically worthless. Just the same thing with Nike. You can't sell a pair of Nike free runs when the Nike free run 6.0s are out. You can, but you're only going to get $10, $12 for a pair of used free runs because the other ones are so higher valued. So that's why I say you got to learn. Joey said learn about OnCloud shoes. OnCloud is a great Bolo brand. I mean, you can sell those shoes used for $80 to $100.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, Maria says, hi, I'm just getting started. Thank you for sharing. Say hi to Drew for me. Hi, Drew.
Hey. Yeah, and Anfisa said, my first year I bought dollar clothing and watched reseller YouTube videos for an entire year. Here's what I did when I first started selling. And this is why I tell it to everybody else. When I lost my job, I had nothing to do. I was putting in applications on monster.com and whatever, that LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't getting any hits. And so I had a Nintendo 64 in my closet with all the good games that I had never played because I just always had them. And I sold Earthbound. I had Earthbound, the original one. I sold it in like 20 minutes of listing it for $150 because it was the authentic original game. And from then on, it was like game on for me. And I was like, okay, I'm listing all my Nintendo 64 stuff right now. And I sold so much stuff that I think like in the first week of listing, I think I did like somewhere between like $500 and $1,000 in sales just because it was popular stuff. You know what I mean? So I started off right, but then I started watching videos. I watched, Ray is the Entrepreneur. I watched Garage Flips. I watched Rally Roots. I watched, Rockstar Flipper and Rake and Profit. And you just slowly start learning. You start picking up on stuff. You start noticing single stitch shirts, vintage shirts. You notice brands like Patagonia sell very well, like they're high-end brands, that you can find at a thrift store. And the biggest thing that I tell people is don't go into a thrift store and buy something and just think you're going to sell it for money. Don't waste your time doing that. Look it up on your phone. It takes 5 seconds to go on eBay and type in Patagonia mesh snapback hat and see what they're selling for. And if they're not selling for enough money where it's profitable for you, if the hat is $7.99 and they're selling for $15.99 free shipping, it's not enough profit to justify it. If that Patagonia hat is selling for $79.99, then freaking buy it, but don't just guess on stuff and say like here's actually an example, this Paper Mario. I bought this Paper Mario thinking it was an authentic and it's actually a replica and I got screwed. So, but you know why? Because I got excited and I thought I found an authentic copy on Facebook Marketplace and I was the first person to respond to it. And then when I actually got it and left, realized that it was not authentic. And in the listing, it said remake. But because I saw Paper Mario and it just clicked $100 game, I wanted to be the first person to get it. And sure enough, I got it. But I mean, I only paid $35 for it. I can resell it for what I paid for it as a remake. So I won't lose money. But, you have to learn those things over time. You will take losses to make wins. I bought one of my biggest first bulk buy was I bought a bunch of clothing from a government auction and I paid about $1 a unit. I got 700 pieces of clothing. And this is really like what started my full-time like career. Is I was not expecting to win. It was like bids you had to place, kind of like eBay for lots. And I ended up winning like 8 different lots of clothing. And when I got home, it was so much stuff. If you go back and watch the video, I did a time lapse in my living room. I literally set up tables in my living room to pull everything out because it was so much. And eventually I listed all of it. But it was just every brand I literally looked up on every tag and typed in on eBay to see if it was worth it or not to sell. And that's how I learned.
Yeah. And once you sell something, you remember it. So it gets easier and easier as well.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Like once you touch something that you've already handled, like you know exactly what it's going to take, and that's that ongoing encyclopedia you keep doing.
This is a perfect example. I found this at the bins yesterday, and I scanned it along with, this is what people didn't see unless they watched my YouTube video, along with like 20 other horror DVDs. I scanned like 20 to 25 DVDs and VHSs. This was the only one that had good comps, but this DVD, I paid $1/4 for it at the bins and it sells for over 100.
Yeah, that like vintage horror stuff is.
Now I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And now I'll never forget it.
That's right. Yeah, that's the beauty. Let's see. No cell phone service in the store. That can be tough. Yeah,
that is rough.
I ran into that a couple of times, and that's when you have to play it a little bit safe.
Or if they have a return policy, it feels a little bit safer because then maybe you can leave the store and take it back. Because I sometimes when I'm coming home from work and stopping at a thrift, I'm really on like a time. I got to get home, just has to eat, got to go for a walk, whatever. And I'll just be like, I think it's good. And then I'll kind of come back to it and do deeper research later. So not too bad if they have a return policy.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky.
LuLaRoe, yeah. LuLaRoe. I feel like every reseller sees how much LuLaRoe has made it to the death of like Goodwills. Oh man.
Oh yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's a whole different subject. One other question I had for you. So if you're basically saying start with what you have at home and then start learning how to look up comps and then broaden your horizon. How would you, I guess, what's the easiest way to ask this question? Like, how would you figure out, like, at what point should I now leave my day job and just do this full time? Like, when did you? I know your story is a little bit different because you didn't have work and you just dove right into it. But like, when would you recommend? I've talked to some people and failed, and I've heard some good advice. But what would your advice be for that?
That's a good question.
Sure. Let me just answer this real quick. Amy said, how do you sell repos safely? You just have to, well, it depends on the item, but like if it's a Pokemon game, like a fake game, you just have to put in the listing reproduction. Then you can sell it okay. Like I just sold a Game Boy Advance game that was a Pokemon repo. You have to put it in the title and in the description that it's not an original authentic game, and then you'll be fine. But a lot of people don't read descriptions, so that's why you have to put it in the title, because people will return it if it's not authentic, and then you got to deal with that. To answer your question, I think it's a very broad question, so I want to try to not take a long time answering it because I love to talk about this kind of stuff. So I would say the biggest, or my answer for that would be it's based on your cost of living, your lifestyle. So if you, like you were saying, like you eat rice and beans, you're a hustler, you will eat ramen noodles for a year so that you can be debt free. It depends on like all this kind of stuff. It depends on how much debt you have. It depends on if you have a family, what kind of bills you have to pay, what you want to drive. Like, for example, Joey bought a Bang 22. If he's still in the chat, he could go full time because he has the hustle in him, but he also drives a Tesla and he also has a very well paying job. So why would he quit that job and not drive the Tesla unless he hated his job? He actually likes his job. Now, right. If you're talking about people who hate their job that want to go full time, that's a different story. I would say quit your job today and go full time. You just got to give it your all. You got to go 110%. When I lost my job and went full time reselling, I gave it 110% day one and never looked back. And Rinzi, the shoe reselling couple, is the same way. They both lost their jobs in the corporate world and they decided to start reselling, and they didn't start with shoes. They started clothing, they tried electronics, they tried all sorts of stuff, and they found that shoes was their niche. So, but they went 110% and they never looked back. And that's the thing that you have to decide for yourself is, am I willing to take the risk, that comes along with reselling full-time, the ups and downs, the roller coaster ride of, the Hustlin Hooks $1,000 sales day, or the $100 sales day. And you're like, this is a BS freaking day. Like right now, I think I'm only at probably less than $100 in sales today, which is absolutely terrible for me. But yesterday was like almost $500 in gross sales. So it's a roller coaster. So you have to know how to handle the emotions of the roller coaster of reselling, because one, it's kind of like a law of averages. You're going to have a $500 sales day and then you could have a $50 sales day. But if you can't deal with the mental aspect of that game, then reselling may not be for you full time. And that's why I say it's a what's it called? Like not a cliff, but I can't think of the word. It's a like once you go reselling, you can't ever go back if you go full time. Sure. You can, but you know what I mean? Like the way that I would say that is you can always get another job.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can, whether it's the same job or not, whether Joey quit today and left the postal service, he could always go back and get another job doing something. He's got the qualifications, he's got the resume. So So if you wanted to go full time, like I kind of think like Gary Vee with this kind of stuff, like what is stopping you really? Is it fear, or is it a lifestyle that you're living that your job has to pay for that makes you not want to go full time? Because, if you like, I mean, Enfisa said you got to think about taxes, lifestyle, healthcare. Exactly. Like I've got 2 kids and I've got a wife, I've got a house, I've got a mortgage, but my mortgage is relatively low because we put down a large down payment on our house because I sold a business that I had 8 years ago and did really well with it. So it put me in a position where I don't have a $1,700, $2,000, $2,500 mortgage a month. My mortgage is extremely cheap, but I also have debt I'm trying to pay. When I started reselling, I probably had, not including my mortgage, I probably had close to $50,000 in debt. And now I'm like around 15,000,
Right.
And so I'm actually not even that much, I don't think. And I could probably pay off a lot of it. I have money in my savings account, all that kind of stuff. I could pay off most of the debt, but when anyway, I'm on track to pay that stuff off. I don't get on topic, but I should be debt free by the end of the year. That's my goal. But there's a couple other things that I would say, and I'm really breaking this down, like with my whole belief system on this. You have to love the whole process of reselling. If you don't love sourcing, cleaning, scrubbing dirty shoes, taking pictures, taking measurements of clothing, listing, using some type of light setup, whether it's cheap or expensive, if you don't like staying up till 2 a.m. doing listings, if you don't like, going to garage sales and striking out, if you don't like, if you don't like dealing with lowball offers, which will kind of go into what Dom is asking right here, if you don't like dealing with the whole process, I'm talking about start to finish, finding a rainbow vacuum on the side of the road, cleaning it, listing it, packaging it up, shipping it, and dropping it off at FedEx. If you don't love the whole process, I keep saying that because I'm really stressing that you will most likely, and I don't want to sound pessimistic, I'm trying to be realistic. You probably will not make it as a full-time reseller making a lot of money. You can probably do okay, but if you don't love the whole process, there's too many people that like to buy and then have death piles. There's too many people that like to learn, but they don't like to list.
There's a lot of non-executors. Like in our general population in the United States, there are a lot of they don't want to execute the action. Do you want to that best offer question?
As in terms of, do you list it as best offer or auction style? We always.
Well, no, they're asking thoughts on using best offer, yes or no?
Our thoughts are we leave it turned off, but we do send offers out on occasion. We'll either do like a mass, like 10%, or $5, $10, whatever. And that tends to work for us. We get, depending on how many offers we send, we get, I don't know, 1-2% or something like that.
Yeah,
it's not a high percentage.
About 5% maybe of sales when we send it. Yeah, I
think it's a good tool to have in your toolbox as a seller for sure. But no, if we price it correctly based on the sold comps, then we're pretty confident in that price, and we might send a best offer to kind of keep the ball rolling or get it moving. And I think that's appealing to people who see it come through, but we don't leave it on for everything. And we do fine. We still do the 1% of sales every day without best offer.
Yeah, the one thing that I really don't like about best offer, and it's the same thing, and I'm talking strictly on eBay, because that's about 95% of our business that we do is eBay. So I don't like the fact that when you have best offers on and you accept the best offer, then they have 48 hours to pay. And then if they don't pay, you're tied up for another 2 or 3 days. And if that doesn't turn out, you open up a case and it's another 2 days. So now you're talking about 7 days where that listing is no longer available for someone else and you're not guaranteed a sale. I really don't like that aspect of it. When someone does send us a message, we had one sale today on a little toy car from Hot Wheels, like a vintage one. Someone asked, like, hey, can you do better on pricing? Yep, make me an offer. Can you do this? How about this? How about that? We settled on $21. instead of 30, and I was happy with that. And they paid immediately. Like that's fine, and usually we'll work with people when we talk to them, but we don't. Like someone said,
people who send you a message asking you to take an offer are definitely a lot more interested than if people are like, well, I'll see if they'll take this.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you do, they're like, well, did I really want it to begin with? But we will do it if people send us a message for sure.
Yeah, it's just like the way you can think about it is like if you go grocery shopping and you buy a loaf of bread, and then it's like you buy it, but then you just kind of look at it for a while, and then like the cashier is just looking at you, and you're looking at the bread, and it's just like a stalemate. Like, are you going to get the bread, or are you not going to get the bread? And like businesses in retail don't that way, so you can't go to Kohl's and buy a purse and then just stand there for 8 hours not paying for the purse. Like you can't do that. Like you either buy it or you don't buy it. So that's our opinion. We don't like the lag of it.
It's interesting to see different people's perspectives in the comments about best offer. Yeah. Me personally, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I have best offer on everything because I think that if you don't have best offer on, which I used to not have best offer on, I think that it opens the market to negotiations for people who normally wouldn't who normally wouldn't flat out buy it, but they want to make an offer first to see if you'll take a lower offer, but they're willing to pay a higher price. But some people are like, hey, I just got to ask. I mean, it's the same thing we do when we go to garage sales. Someone has a Nintendo 64 at their garage sale for $50 and you say, hey, will you take 40 for it? You know you'll pay the 50, but you just ask because you're trying to maximize your profits. Buyers are the same way. And if you don't think buyers that way, for the most part, not everything is that way, but if you don't think of buyers that way, then you kind of need to, in my opinion, reflect that a little bit, because you may have somebody that's willing to buy your Magnolite pot for $98, but they're going to want to send you an offer for $70 first. But they're willing to pay probably $80 or $90 for it. But they want to send you that offer first. Now, it doesn't happen all the time. I get lowball offers all the time, and it is frustrating. But again, it's part of the process. And that's kind of like what I'm going back to is, for me, it's part of the process. I don't send out a lot of offers on Poshmark, Mercari, or eBay, but they do have those options. Every once in a while, when I have like a higher tier item or a more expensive item that has a lot of likes or watchers on it, I'll send out offers. But most of the time, I don't see it really playing out. But it's just, it depends on what platform you're selling on too. Like Poshmark, one of their big proponents is send offers to likers. And so, you know, people claim they make a lot of sales from sending offers to likers, and I don't have much luck. I guess I'm that ugly. You guys both want to leave me, huh?
No, our dog had to go outside.
It's okay.
Maria had a question. She says her stuff is not selling, only one Goodwill. Where can I source stuff? So Maria, look at Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, and Nextdoor app. Those are good platforms you can download on your phone, and you can continuously look. We actually talked to Dom about this because we talked about like when people say you're lucky when you find something. It's not that we're lucky, it's that we're knocking at certain markets to find stuff. And when you put in that volume, you're going to find stuff. There's no other way. You can't go to Goodwill once a week and then compare to us. Like I go twice a day, Monday through Friday. She goes once a day, Monday through Wednesday. And then sometimes just Monday, Tuesday. Forgive me for flexing that sometimes it's one extra day. And then weekend garage sales, estate sales, right? And then marketplace all the time. So that's what I would recommend, Maria. The other thing you can do, Maria, you can find eBay sellers that sell only auction items. Like there's a page that I stalk. If you send me a DM, I'll send you the guy's info. But what they do is they do every single thing on 99-cent auction constantly. And you can just stalk them and find things. Like yesterday, I was bidding on Carhartt jeans new with tags, but they got out. They got bid up to the point where it wasn't going to be profitable. But I bought a couple of items from that person for like $6 a piece and sold for 30 a piece. So you can definitely like buy stuff off of eBay and resell it on eBay. There's many ways.
Yeah, it's called online arbitrage, where basically you go on other reselling platforms. Actually, Amphisa does it a lot, and I love watching her post it. And then this guy that I follow on Instagram too, a Retail Recon, he lives near me and he sells shoes. He buys shoes on Mercari for like 25 to 50 bucks, and then he flips them on eBay for like 200 to 300. And it's just people either don't know what they have, or people on smaller platforms like Mercari are just your regular average everyday person that sees an ad on a YouTube video that says, make money in your pocket by selling on Mercari.
That's right.
And then they post their stuff on Mercari because they want a quick 25 bucks to go to the club, and then they sell their shoes for 25 bucks, not knowing that they're $300 shoes, or thinking that because they're used that they're not worth it anymore. So you can do online arbitrage all the time.
That's our job. Our job is to find items that are devalued and sell them for value. That's it. I'm sorry, undervalued and sell them for value. That's our job. You can call that.
Your job is to steal from the poor and to tax people who want a product that you are trying to supply, but they can't afford it because you're asking too much.
That's right. Right. That too. But in reality,
Scammers. You guys are scammers.
Scalpers. Yeah, for sure. Mercari to flip on eBay. Yeah, I've seen this several times. Jenna says she bought something in Mercari to flip on eBay today. Yeah, it's out there. Like there's no, that's why there's no excuse. Like any seller that's successful is just going to tell you to shut your mouth and get to work. That's
Well, and aside from online arbitrage, there's also what's called, like I said earlier, retail arbitrage. You can literally go to Walmart and you can scan barcodes of every single product in that entire store until you find something that costs $10 and is selling for $20. And if you are literally in an area where you're saying there's one Goodwill within 100 miles, then reselling used stuff from thrift stores is not going to be your strategy. You have to change your strategy if you want to be a reseller to all these different modes that we were talking about. But you have to be that hustler that goes into freaking Walmart or Target, goes to the clearance section and scans all the toys that are on clearance until you find one good toy. But most of the time when you find that one good toy on clearance, there's 10 or 20 of them because they're clearancing them out, or anything. I mean, I saw this one guy who was flipping freaking grills. Walmart had a clearance on grills. They were like $297. They were on clearance for 86 bucks. And they bought like $1,500 worth of grills and flipped them all locally. So you can do it. It's just crazy. Yeah, College Picker just flipped a printer. There's books. You can go to the Dollar Tree and scan books from the Dollar Tree. And you can find books that are $1 and they sell for $12. And then it's media mail, so it'll cost you $2.30 to ship, and you'll still make $6 profit. But if you can do that 100 times, that's $600. So yeah, alas, and Fisa that's why I love her. She's so awesome.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Like you can find stuff I mean, it's just everywhere. I mean, that's the thing. Like you either do it or you don't do it.
Drive around your neighborhood on trash days. Drive around your neighborhood on trash days and see what people throw out.
Yeah, there's a bunch of colleges near us, and we have a friend who they used to go like during the move out times during these college campus, like they're going home for the summer, and they have found like new in box, new with tag, really good stuff because they're just buying it on their student loans and they don't really want to pack it. So they're just throwing it in the dumpsters next to the apartment. So that's an option.
Here's another idea for people that may not think of it is I have a friend of mine who used to work as a groundskeeper for an apartment complex, and he would always have to take stuff to the dumpster and whatever. And every time he would take something there, he'd text me when he saw something. He's like, hey, there's a wooden rocking chair that's in the shape of a motorcycle. Do you want it? And I said, heck yes. And I went and picked it up and I sold it on eBay for $150 plus $100 shipping. And then the last time I was over near his house, we stopped by the dumpster, and there was these two like metal shelving storage unit shelves. I don't know what you call them, just like bookcases, but they were like corrugated metal. And I picked them up for free, wiped them down with Lysol wipes, and sold them the next day on Facebook Marketplace for $40.
Yeah.
Money is literally everywhere.
Yeah.
It is really. Yeah. You just have to pick it up.
Yeah. There was a guy I ran into early, like when we first started doing this, called Taco Stacks.
Yeah. I watch his videos. Very good.
He's literally like, he just drives around town trash days and just makes a living. Like,
well, we actually know somebody. collects, like he's a garbage collector. That's his job. And he works in this, like around the Detroit suburbs where there's some like around there. And he's picked stuff up since meeting us to sell on eBay for a profit or even Facebook Marketplace, because the stuff they're selling there is really good stuff. Electronics and stuff. Again, new stuff, golf bags,
shoes, like really nice shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, Maria, this is the thing, Maria. The reason that you said, well, my local Facebook Marketplace stinks. Here I'm going to challenge you, because our local marketplace stinks too. But when it doesn't stink, when you do it enough times, when you keep looking, when you keep going, you're going to find it. Like, you know how many times I've searched rainbow vacuum? Like daily for like 8 months.
To find two.
And I just found two today, one today, one yesterday, after months of looking, because most of them are 300, 500, 1,000, 1,500. You have to just keep looking, Maria. There's no other way around it.
There's a rainbow vacuum right here on Facebook Marketplace in my area for 400. Oh wait, yeah. That's my listing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I found, I was dropping off my kid to my parents, and I drove by, and somebody had thrown out a Pistons, like NBA big mirror, 47 by 40 inch, like mint condition, 2004 championship. It's worth like 100, 150 bucks. Someone threw in a curve, and somebody messaged me today because I picked it up, wiped it down, and put it for sale for 125. Like that is going to sell for at least $100, and I picked it up on the side of the curb. Like
I actually did a video of this on my YouTube channel, and Maria, you can check out my YouTube videos too. I literally made a video where I went dumpster diving, and I went to a GameStop, and I found a Nintendo Switch box, just the box, and I sold it on Mercari for $50. Just the box that holds the Nintendo Switch, because people like having them on their shelves as display pieces and stuff like that. So like you do have to have like a fire under your butt to, if like you just said, they don't throw nothing out here. I'm serious. Well, then here's your thing. Here's the ultimatum. I will give you an ultimatum. Dean challenged you. And if you can't find anything on Facebook Marketplace, like even in new categories, I would say type in, I would give you 10 categories right now. I would say video games, pots and pans, vintage clothing, old train sets, Christmas blow up stuff, Halloween costumes. Like there's 5 right there that you can look up right now and start searching for. Bicycles, and you can search those. And if you don't find anything and your area is that bad and you want to be full-time reseller, here's the answer: move. Sell your house, leave your apartment, and move to an area that's profitable. If you want to be a full-time reseller, you have to do whatever it takes. If your area is legitimately that bad, which I personally don't believe that is, because there's people all over the country that are making money. And Fisa lives in Alaska. Osborne to Thrift, Tim, does like 30 to 40,000, and he lives in Utah. Okay. And Utah is like Mormon capital of the world. There's nothing out there. And he still manages to make $30,000 every 90 days selling hard goods. So if you really are saying that it's that bad, whatever that zip code is right there, then you need to move if you want to be full-time. That's literally what Gary Vee would tell you. He'd say, pack your bags and move to somewhere that you can find profitable items.
Yeah, Maria, if you, I don't know if you follow us on Instagram. If you do, shoot me a DM and I'll find you deals in your area tonight. It's that easy. But the difference is that we've been hunting on Facebook for a year, and we do it constantly. So I know what to look for. It might just be your inexperience with it. And that there's no way, like, unless your population is 3 people, like, there's no way. I don't want to be mean, but I don't believe you. I just don't, because it's everywhere.
Otherwise, if you don't want to move, just set aside a day or two for the week where you're going to commit to all day. You're going to drive as far as it takes to find stuff. You're going to spend
very true.
all day driving around and loading up your car to take home, so you have stuff to list until the next day, where you drive away from your house to go find stuff to bring back.
Yeah, I mean,
those are your options.
Yeah,
but I agree with Drew. I'm sure there's stuff out there. Yeah. Otherwise, online, it might take a little longer to sift through stuff, but you'll find a way if you want it.
Yeah, for sure. There's a way. There's no, I mean, I just don't accept it, because every single time that a little bit of doubt has crept up in me, and I was like, am I going to be able to find inventory? Somebody texts me, it's like, oh yeah, I have old stuff, come take a look. And I show up with a trunk full. She goes to a thrift store, gets there right when they're putting in new stuff, shows up with a trunk full. Some person is like, hey, one of my friends recently moved. He's like, hey, I have a bunch of video game stuff. I spent $300 on like $1,500 of value, right? I mean, it's like you have to tell people what you do, and you just have to keep doing it. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, just alone in the last 5 minutes, I mean, we've provided a solution, which is what we both love to do, is to help people. Just so you know, like, and I'm sure you know, Maria, because I know you watch my videos, you leave comments on them, but like, nobody's trying to make you feel bad. We're just trying to provide solutions to motivate you to know that, like, listen, if there's legitimately only one Goodwill and it's bad, then your Friday and Saturday and Sunday, if you're a full-time reseller, you need to find a hotel room in the next city over, and you spend 3 days a week, like what Mel was saying, and all you do is nonstop thrift for 3 days, and then you come home with a carload full of stuff from other locations, or you do online arbitrage and you have it delivered to your door, where you pay up for things, but you can still sell it for profit. Like, you can buy Jordans from Foot Locker for $79 and $89 on footlocker.com, and you can sell them for $130. And you can do that over and over and over again. But some people don't want to spend $5,000 on Jordans to make $8,000. But you will make money. But it depends on what your business model is, what your lifestyle is, what your excuses are. I mean, you can make an excuse for just about anything. Here, I'll give you an example, because I just saw the unicorn balloon again.
Yeah, Amy just answered. Look at Amy. Amy says, Revere Lot, Rainbow City, Alabama, Copper Bottoms, looks like 25 or 30 for $100. There you go. There's your answer. I've shared, like, I find lots of stuff that are too far from me, and I share them on Instagram. And I just had, I think it was Chicago Style Flipper that just messaged me earlier today. It was like, dude, I got those pots and pans. It's out there. It's just too far from me. So, like, instead of me hoarding it, I'm just going to shout it out. It's like, if you live here, go buy this stuff. Like, it's all out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can obviously find anything on Facebook Marketplace these days. You just have to probably learn new categories then. But what I was going to say is,
it is. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the love, Chicago Style Flipper. Yeah, you just said it in the chat. Yeah, it's just, I'm not going to go to Chicago for them. So why have it somebody that lives there?
Right. Okay, so listen to this story. When my wife and I did our pregnancy announcement for our second son, Zeke, when we were announcing it on Facebook and Instagram, we went to Disney and took a picture in black and white with a Disney balloon, and it was either pink or blue, and then we swipe over and it was a blue balloon and it was a boy, whatever. I literally took a picture of the balloon that I bought from Disney at Disney World and posted it on eBay when I was on the monorail on my way home, and I sold the balloon for $30.
What?
And I paid $15 for it, and I sold it for $30. And I put in the ad, I am deflating this balloon and shipping it in a poly mailer. It will not be shipped inflated. And someone paid $30 for a used balloon from Disney. So don't tell me that you can't sell stuff.
You're the man. That's crazy.
I love it so much. Like, I can go.
That's why, like, there's nights.
What do you think we could get for this unicorn?
Yeah, Mr. Balloon Man. What's this? What's this worth to you?
Unicorn.
I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna look it up on eBay. I bet you could probably sell it for $5 to $10.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's insane.
Anyone? So we're gonna be winding this down here shortly. We have a little bit of work to do ourselves. Anyone that's in here, we did post this morning. If you're interested in, we're doing a giveaway. Our giveaway is 4 weeks of free mentoring from us. Wherever you are in your eBay reselling career, we would love to help out. So if you have not seen that out on our Instagram, If you guys all in the chat, if you can do us a huge favor, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. What that does is that it allows other people to find us, and because we're such a small channel, it just allows us to grow it slowly. So we put in a good amount of time and effort into creating content for others. Well, we would appreciate that from you. It costs you nothing to do it, so thank you. I did also want to say a couple of things. One, thank you for everyone that has joined us. I've seen some returning faces. I'm seeing some new people. We really do appreciate it, and it's such a great community. We've not, like, of the couple of people that have like slightly disrespected me or us, it's just like 99.9% like great people, and I love that. And like of the 0.01%, it's like, let's move on. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, you get over it really quickly, and there's just in the world of full-time reselling, which kind of goes back to answering the question you asked earlier about what would you tell somebody that wants to go full-time. I would say ask a dean why he's not full-time, and then when he goes full-time, then you can go full-time. Because you guys are in a position where you
can attempt it.
I mean, you guys are debt-free, you're in an amazing position, you guys work hard, you could easily be full-time, but at the same time, with the job that you have, why would you not stay with that full-time job that we talked about, and the benefits and the stuff that you get when you can do both at the same time right now? It's super killer. I mean, you guys are in a great position. I'm not in that position, so I have to make eBay work for me.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like there's a lot of reasons. We do have a master plan. We're going to continue to share our master plan with everyone as we continue to work on it and develop it. But yeah, it's if I was making $40,000 doing a job I hated, I would have been gone a year ago. But I'm in a position where I've been working on my professional career for 14 years, and I'm in a very sweet spot of it. I just don't see myself wanting to do that lifestyle anymore. So that's what really motivates me.
Real life job.
What's your real life? Yeah, so I manage. So I work for Cisco Corporation, the food distribution company. I manage their food safety programs for our territory here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I've been doing food safety, food quality type work for manufacturing, distributors, logistics companies for 14 years. That's my career path.
I work at
jobs.
I work at an attorney's office for the county. So our local prosecutor's office, I work there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome host. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Isabel. Love the community. Yeah, we love the community as well.
I have a question for Drew. Do you guys self-insure then? Because I think that's a big reason too why we're like.
Yes, we use a Christian health share program called Samaritan Ministries, and it's actually really cool. I'll explain it really quick. The way that it works is that you send in your payment on a monthly basis, but instead of sending it to an office or a government or whatever, you actually send it to the person who needs the money for whatever procedure or situation they're in. So you'll get a letter every month from Samaritan, and they'll say, John and Laura Smith are in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and John fell down and needs knee surgery. So your monthly share is going to help pay for his surgery. And then if we ever had a need, we would actually get checks in the mail from individual people, like personal checks from individual people, versus one big check from like a company to pay for it. So when my wife gave birth and we had to pay for the home birth, she did it at home. We put in the need, I guess you could say. You put it in online what the need is, you submit it, it gets approved, and then you start getting in checks until it's paid off. And then you have to write on a checklist each check that you get so you can confirm that the other users of the program are actually paying as well. And it's very, very cool program. So
yeah, is that a local?
No, it's nationwide.
We'll have to look. Yeah, we're gonna pick your brain about that later.
Yeah,
it's very, very cool. We've never had an issue with it, and they are they're a Christian-based program, but the help that they offer is awesome. Like, it's, when you have to like call your car insurance or your health insurance company and you're like on hold and this and that and press 1 for this, press 2 for that. with Samaritan, there's always someone on the other line. They're always friendly. They're always happy to help. It's like when you DM, you guys on Instagram, like you'll always respond. It's kind of like how you get with them. So it's a really cool program. We've had them for like 6 or 7 years, and we've never had a single problem. So it just doesn't cover things like dental and things like that. But
right. So and then you just cover your preventative care then, I'm assuming?
Right. Yeah. So like if we have to go to the dentist or something, it's, you pay for that out of pocket. But if it was like a major operation or surgery that you needed, you can submit it, and most likely they'll approve it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna try something quickly right at the tail end of this. You said that there's a way to share my screen. So
Yes, it should be at the bottom. You should be able to click share screen.
See how it works. Yeah.
And then you should be able to type in the website or whatever you're trying to do.
Let's see. Just gonna play with it. Oh wow, look at that. We're bigger.
Look at the beautiful faces.
All right, now we're the same. No, it's just okay. Sorry everyone, I'm just playing around with this. Share screen.
Oh, there it is.
Share screen. Friendly heads up. Okay, share screen. All right. So can you guys see this? Like, can you see my what's sold today screen?
Nothing right now. No, you have to. I believe. Let me see if I can do it on my computer as well.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, you have to like open the window. There we go. You got it.
Okay. So I wanted to show you guys just a couple of examples of things that sell for us pretty well. So I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly. So we actually are like VCRs and VHS players, and VCR, like they just haven't been doing very well lately. But this is how eBay works. Like you won't sell one for like weeks, and then today we sold 2. So typically we pick these up for $5 to $7 if you're picking up at our Goodwill, and you can see what they sold for. They sold for 90 and 53 shipped. We'll use pirate ship and ship those for about $12 a piece. A Wii board, we found this at a Goodwill for $4. It sold for 50. If you're selling any Wii boards, you definitely want to try to include the Wii fitness game with it. And then pots and pans, of course. Of a juicer that sold, like we have $4 into the whole thing. This is the first piece that sold for 23. It'll cost $4 ship. And then this vintage Hot Wheels we got in a bulk, and then this is the one that actually was worth money. I listed it for 30, sat for a while, took an offer of 21. It'll cost $3 or $4 to ship it. So just wanted to kind of show that. That's a pretty good day for us today. We have $364 going out gross, which is about where we're at, and that's 2, 4. So that's 6 items. So that's roughly 1% of our sales on eBay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad that I learned this feature.
Oh.
Awesome.
Okay.
So I just wanted to show that. Yeah. So Drew, did you want to just take a minute and go through? I know you've had a pretty slow day today, but like sales from yesterday, what are some of the highlights that you've sold recently?
Yeah, sure. So as you guys know, I sell on multiple platforms, but I'll just share some of my eBay sales, and I can pull it up like this if you want.
Yeah.
So this was something that I sold today. It was like an Incredibles like figure set. This was retail arbitrage at Target. I think I paid $16 for it, and I've had it in my inventory for literally over a year. It was at the time when I bought it, Incredibles was like actually selling, and I had it listed for I think 69, and I slowly lowered it. It was at 50, and then I took a best offer today of 40 just to move it. But still a decent sale. This is a vintage Oswego State University sweatshirt. Man, I hope these focus.
Yeah, it's just a little glary.
Let me see if it'll. Anyway, it's still not going to focus. It's because of the glare on my wood floor, but it's a just a vintage sweatshirt from a college. I sold it for $30 plus shipping today. I picked that up at the bin, so I have like $1 into it. This was I sold this today. $18.99 free shipping for a just PlayStation 2 game. This was in a bulk buy where I bought a PlayStation 2 bundle for $35, and I scanned every video game, and I put 10 of like the pickle games, as we call them, like not worth anything games, in the bundle. And then I listed some of the other games separate, and this sold for $19 free shipping. So that paid for half of my investment right there. And I have the PS2 bundle listed for, I think, $169 free ship. I sold this. This is what I was talking about earlier about like sweaters and stuff. I sold this Pendleton sweater today for,
nice.
for $59.99 plus shipping. And it's like, this is the thing, is people always ask me, someone literally just DM'd me earlier today and was like, Drew, I saw your haul video. Are you going to list all those sweaters or wait till winter? I'm like, I'm listing them right now, baby, because they're selling. I just sold a sweater. It's 111 degrees out in Florida for $60 plus shipping. Somebody might want this for the winter and they didn't want to miss the opportunity. So it'll sit in their closet until winter. It doesn't matter. But
Right.
I paid $1 for this. So
Yeah, it's already getting cooler in other states too. So
yeah, I'll show a couple more real quick. This was a good sale from yesterday. Nike Air Max ACG boots. They're like the GoTerra like hiking boots. I don't know what really they are. I got them at a flea market for $9, and they sold today for 85 plus shipping, or yesterday 85 plus shipping. And then the Filter Queen vacuum. That was my biggest sale recently. The vacuum right here. There's the picture. $169. So actually, I don't know if you guys really have to go, but I wanted to ask you a question about this if you're okay too. So
yeah, go ahead.
and then I sold, this was a cool sale too. This was yesterday, but they didn't pay till today. I got this vintage pair of jeans, Levi's 912 high-waisted skinny jeans made in the USA, orange tab. And I sold them, I listed them for $99 and got an offer within 30 minutes of listing them of $85, and I accepted it. So plus shipping, plus the buyer paid shipping. So it was a $99 total sale, and I got them at a thrift store for $6.99.
Nice.
And then a Nintendo Wii bundle I sold for $120 plus shipping that I got on Facebook Marketplace for $30. Those are like some of my recent sales.
As far as like seasonality, like middle of July, actually I think it was July 1st, we sold a 50-inch Santa Claus.
Yeah, it was really weird. We also sold some boots. We sold some mucklucks, like fur boots too, in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Just wanted them.
Yeah. We sold some like Christmas decorations a few weeks ago too.
Yeah. I just had someone offer me on a pair of like winter boots, but they were a low offer, so they declined my counter offer. But still, I mean, and Pisa just said it's 54 in Alaska right now. So, I mean, people are buying stuff. Don't ever not list something because of a season or anything. There's no excuse to not list everything. There's a buyer out there. So here's my question, and this is actually going to give you guys a little preview, especially the people that are hanging out in the chat. This is going to give you a little preview for my video that I'm going to put out probably tomorrow about selling the vacuum and packaging it up. So, and you were actually talking about this on your story today. So I think it kind of all correlates and will be a good possible ending whenever you guys want to get off. I could talk all night. So the vacuum that I sold, if I would have put the long metal piece in the box with the canister, it would have been like $130 to ship because of the size. It's insane. So what I did was I put the metal part of the vacuum like handle, I don't know what you call about, because it didn't separate into two pieces. It was one long piece that was 42 inches long. So what I did is I did two separate boxes. I did a mailing tube for the hose attachment, the metal part, and then I put everything else in like a 16 by 16 by 15 box. Now the buyer paid $99 shipping for everything. So it was buyer paid shipping. Buyer paid $100 shipping to ship the first box, because on eBay you can only ship one box, obviously. So the other one would go through pirate ship or whatever. The first box was to ship priority mail was $55. Buyer paid $99. To ship FedEx ground, it was $27. So all day I'm going to choose FedEx ground.
Right.
But I have to say this slow so that you guys don't get confused. If I would have shipped priority mail, $55 for the box, and then the second piece in the tube through pirate ship would have been $12. So that's $67. Okay, total for both pieces, and the buyer paid $99. So I'm still in the profit on the shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my mailman would pick that up at my house with all my other stuff, so I wouldn't have had to leave my house. If I go FedEx Ground, I have to drive to Walmart to drop it off, which is less than 10 minutes away.
Okay.
So $27 FedEx Ground to ship the big box. When I get to FedEx Ground, they want $23 to ship the smaller, or to ship the other box. Granted, it was $12 on Pirate Ship, but the first box was $27. So 27 plus 23 is still only $50. So here's my question. Would you have paid the $67 priority mail and just let your mailman pick it up and go about your work? Or would you have driven, let's just say a total of 30 minutes, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes dropping it off, 10 minutes back? Would you have driven to drop it off at FedEx to take the gamble to potentially save more money? Because I didn't know that the second package was going to cost me $23 FedEx Ground. I thought it was going to be like 12, 15 bucks like Pirate Ship. So originally I'm thinking, okay, $40, 40 to 67, that's like an extra 30 bucks almost. That's worth 30 minutes of my time to save another $30. It ended up not being $30. It was only $17 difference. But if you would have known, would you still have gone FedEx Ground to save that $17? Does that make sense?
It did.
Yeah.
You cut off a little bit there.
But it's, yeah, would we have gone out of our way to save that much money, essentially?
Essentially, yes. I mean, I did all the work so that I can make the YouTube video to compare and let people know, like, hey, you could have done priority mail and it would have cost you 67, or you could have done FedEx and it would have costed you 50. And the buyer paid 99. So either way, the buyer paid for it, but it's just a matter if you want to make a little extra money or not.
Okay. But so you knew it was still going to be less driving to FedEx, though? You just didn't know how much less?
Correct. I was predicting that it was going to cost me $15, $10 to $15 to ship the tube, the mailing tube with the attachment in it, and it ended up being 23. So it was a little more than I would have liked. But the reason that I ended up going with the FedEx Ground was, one, because I was already there. Two, because I printed out the FedEx Ground label on my printer already through eBay for the first box. And I wanted them both to be shipped out on the same truck. So I could have saved money by shipping one FedEx Ground and one through Pirate Ship, and it would have only cost me 27 plus 12, which is $40. But I didn't want two different pieces to come to two different providers and then them not show up at the same time and the buyer get upset, even if I messaged them and told them you'll get it. So I wanted to make sure that they were going through the same program.
Yeah, I think I like it. I like that thought process. I think what you're really asking is what is the value of good customer service, and I think you answered it right. The fact that you're selling, like, if somebody spent a total of $240 and now, like, let's say one of those pieces is delayed 4 days, like, that's going to upset the buyer. Just like, you always have to, in my opinion, put yourself in the buyer's position, because we buy stuff online too. And when things don't show up, or they're damaged, or they're not what we ordered, that necessarily won't ruin our day, but it's definitely not going to make our day. And so I think doing what you did is the right move.
Plus the margin is higher, and probably, at least where we live, there's something where we could stop at a Goodwill while we're out there as well. So it would also be worth our time. But it's not, I think, like, because the Dean's Post, I think it was like $260 or something, and that's not worth it. Because it's a small, that is just
$2.60. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just too small to really care about. But 17 plus additional, like the customer service is better. Yeah, we would. We absolutely would.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good question. We actually, I remember so we offer free shipping on like 99% of our listings, because we can talk about that for a long time. But we actually, when we didn't offer free shipping, we used to be funded there to people. Like, if it was like, I remember we sold like a Department 56 item, and I went to California, and they paid like $70 shipping, and we paid $40, and we would like refunded them $30, and we never even got a note, like nothing. And then there's other times where we just didn't. Long story short, we moved to free shipping, so it doesn't really matter anymore. But I'll give you the question: at what point would you ever refund them the difference if it was something like $40, $50, or would you say, look, you already spent the money, you were obviously willing to spend it, now it's mine?
So I have a kind of a weird philosophy on it, but basically, no, I don't refund it. I used to in the past, and people didn't seem to care. People cared, but they weren't like it. I don't sell a lot of vacuums where I'm having $50 profit on shipping.
Right.
So something where I was selling for, buyer paid 22 and I was shipping it for 12, and then I offered the $10. Most of the buyers would either say, hey, thanks for messaging me, don't worry about it, or they'd say, yeah, here's my PayPal, but they never even said thank you or anything. And the way that I kind of justify it, I know I keep doing this, but the way I kind of justify it is I look at it as almost like an extra time built into the time it takes me to actually package and take and properly ship that item. Whereas a shirt, that pair of jeans, here's an example, that pair of jeans I sold for $85, the buyer paid $14.95 shipping because it was in California. I put it in a padded flat rate envelope for $6.94. Am I gonna offer the buyer the difference of the $7? No, because like you said, they were willing to pay the shipping. I'm not scamming them. I'm just using a method that is offered to me through eBay. With a vacuum, this is the first time I've ever profited this much money on shipping. So the right thing to do would probably be to message them and offer them something. However, it did take me, a good amount of time to properly wrap the cords. I cleaned it out, washed it, made sure it was clean, that there was no dust on it, there was no hair in the vacuum, because it's a vacuum. You know what I mean? It's not a pot where you just clean it and then it's done. It's a vacuum.
Oh,
It's got dirt, it's got hair.
We've cleaned vacuums. We understand.
Yeah.
No,
so I kind of am just justifying that for this deal because it took me a long time to package and ship it. But that's just I could be morally or ethically wrong, but that's just kind of what I've decided is I'm not going to message them and say, hey, you paid $100 and it only cost me $50, so can I give you money back?
Right.
No, I agree with all of that, and that we debated this, too. But like I said, it's not a thing for us anymore because we use free shipping. But anyways, I think this is a good time for us to sign off. We're gonna try to get a little bit of work done. We also have some conversations about mentoring and some things we have to figure out. So we're pretty excited about that. Again, Drew. I mean, most of the folks in the chat already know, but I'm just gonna say it. One of the better people that I run into. We're really just happy to have you in our life, even though we're separated by miles. You're definitely a friend of ours, and we do appreciate you. We appreciate your content. We appreciate you giving us a chance, because I remember sending you those messages and saying hey man, we're the little guy. Yeah. Could you trust us enough to give us some guidance? And I remember one of the things that you told us very early on. It was if you're interested in making content, make sure that you're adding value, and that's one of the most important pieces of advice that anyone has given us. And that's definitely something that we try to do every single time we put out any content, is add value to people's lives. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and that's what you did when you DM'd me, and that's why I was so open, because it was so refreshing to have somebody just message me and say, hey, let me tell you about these bread makers, or what, I don't remember. I'm actually trying to, while we're talking, I'm trying to scroll through my DMs with you all the way to the top to see what the first message was, but it's so many DMs between us. I don't know if I'll make it by the time you cut us off, but
we can tell.
You added so much value when you shared that with me, and then I shared it with other people. And every time someone picked up a bread maker, I would tag you guys in it and be like, listen, I learned this from Hustlin Hooks, because that's what you do, is you give credit to whoever where credit is due. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's I actually did the same thing to another reseller. I was like, hey man, you do this full time, here's a hint, go pick up bread machines. And he gave us 0 credits, and I didn't ask for any. And I don't unfollow people very often, but instantly, it was just are you kidding me? like you're gonna like you're replicating what I'm telling you to do. That's brand new, and you're using like he said something like because we're a team, so we one of my favorite clips is you saying when we were mocking each other, and you're like, and I want to give thanks to my wife Melinda. She found that's such a good clip. I'll have to share that again. But I was giving her props for it, and then like he did the same thing in his video. Like, look at my awesome wife testing bread machines, and I'm just like, you mother, like, come on, man, like nothing. It's like, all right, see you later. Toxicity. It's just so stupid. Like I and the little fish giving the big shark free information, and like not even a thanks. Whatever.
Our first message was February 22nd. That's
Oh,
long.
that is in
Yeah.
the internet world. That's
6
forever.
months. That's
What did it
Yeah.
say?
It was you responding to a picture that I posted saying, why pay for shipping supplies when you can get them for free? And you said, amen, have not bought any boxes since we started 6 months ago. And then you just kind of responded to a couple of my stories and I said, long but successful and productive day. Had to end the night busting out listings. And you said, me too. Time for breakfast, before breakfast. Good work. And then you just messaged me and said, you got the right attitude. Good job. Then you asked me about priority mailboxes, and then about global shipping. And then on April, so 2 months of us communicating. Then you asked me about something about the global shipping program, and I answered you. And then you said, are you selling bread machines? They are on fire. And I said, I had no idea. How do you have so many? Everything is closed. And when you said Facebook Marketplace, it was on.
that was literally it was when we started selling too, because we went on lockdown in Michigan in like March-ish. So like end of March. So that's as soon as they started selling like that fast for us is when Adine started basically being like, we should tell these people to go buy bread machines.
Yeah, it was like people didn't believe it, and it was like when we oh man, like 30, like we sold 33 of them before it slowed down. Like
you actually asked me for a shout out.
Good.
You said on the bread makers, you said don't worry about comps, look them up, good luck. I said, cool, I'll check it out, thanks. And you said, I want a 0.01% commission. And I said, you got it. And then you said, or a shout out on your channel as we are growing our Instagram. And then like within a week, I posted a picture of a bread maker and I tagged you in it. And I said, time to get this bread. Bolo tip, paid 15, should get 125. And then I texted you, like literally every message is picking up a bread maker, picking up a bread maker, picking up a bread maker.
Oh man, I can't believe there's any bread makers left in people's houses.
Awesome times.
Funny.
All right, well, we're getting out of here. Again, we appreciate everybody who hung out with us. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that jazz. Again, it really helps us. We do appreciate that. You guys, if you have any follow-up questions, I've told a couple of you to DM us. Just please do take action. Like if I'm telling you that I'm going to answer your questions, then do the due diligence and ask, because I'm not going to remember who asked what, and I'm not that sharp. So anyways, thank you again, Drew. We really do appreciate you.
Yeah, sure.
And
hey, thanks for having me on. I love having these conversations. So I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, everybody have a good night. Thanks for watching, everybody in the chat and hanging out.
Yeah,
Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed to Hustlin Hooks.
Likewise to you. All right, you guys take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, money.
Peace, money. I guess I'm still in the chat. Well, good night.